as you are packaging your life, as you are putting your life together, don't forget to leave room for God's coincidences, for God's happenings, for God's doings, for God's orchestrating, for God. Because in Genesis 31, the sons of Laban, they said about Jacob, "You have taken all our glory." And they were not referring to speaking in tongues. They were referring to wealth, cattle and goats and camels. They said, "You have taken all our wealth." So when we talk of glory, it also speaks of wealth and provision. Are you with me, child of God? And I want you to see in Genesis 45, verse number 13, and I'm just passing them. In Genesis 45, verse 13, speaks of Jacob and Joseph. Jacob thinks Joseph is long dead. Then he gets a message that says, "No, Joseph is still alive." And the message says in verse 13, it says, "Tell my father of all the glory that I have here in Egypt." The glory, meaning the wealth, the provision, the houses, the cars, the clothes I have, all the beautiful things. And all this happens when Egypt is going in a famine, or the whole world has famine, and Egypt has famine. But God always preserves his own. He had taken Joseph ahead of time. That looked like his brothers are forsaking him, selling him, and they meant it for evil. But God used that situation for Joseph as a preserver. So they are setting him up. Joseph, he thinks the Lord has forsaken him, but the Lord is literally setting him up to go to Egypt. Somebody say amen. Amen. Later, his family and the families of the earth are going to be blessed through the travail and the pain of Joseph. That's why I'm telling you, the pain you have gone through is not in vain, because God was setting you up, and not only you, but others. The steps of a good man are ordered by the Lord. Note, I hate it, the good man is ordered by the Lord. The steps. There are times where God is not speaking to you, he's speaking to your steps. He's just ordering your steps. And some steps look like a misstep, but it's a step of God setting you up for his future plans and purposes. One can misinterpret what God is saying, filtering it by where they are presently. And what God is saying to you today, it has nothing to do with today. It's reserved for the future. But somehow when you hear what God is saying, you think it must happen in 6 months. That is why when God calls you, or when God drops something in your spirit, never rush to think he's saying do it now. Because sometimes God's soon and your soon are not the same. You are not going to have success in life just you have everything figured out. I've studied this, I've got my degree, I've got my what, I know this. Because a lot of what's going to make things work, it will look like you just happen to be at the right place at the right time, and just somebody liked you. And in life, the next level of success, it takes somebody liking you. Because, let me show you, illustrating Ngomshato. You cannot get married by having a degree. Which degree do you get of getting married? What do you study? Which course? Which faculty? What? Are you into logistics? To be married. You are into what? You are studying what? Beauty. Huh? But somebody just likes you from nowhere and chooses you. So the next, like the person who's going to be the president of the country now, we all have to like that person. So we are choosing them by liking them. So it takes a liking. So one of the things that you must pray for favor. Pray to be liked. Pray to be received. Jesus said to them in John 6, make them sit down. Make them sit down. So follow divine instructions. I know last week I emphasized on rest. This time I'm emphasizing divine instructions. Like an instruction the Lord tells you. Jesus said to the people when he did the first miracle in a wedding in Cana of Galilee, he said, fill the water pots with water. They filled them to the brim. And he said, bring them to the host of this thing. When they got there, the water turned into wine. Mary, what did he say to the people? Whatever he tells you, do it. So follow a divine instruction. See, when you are in the rhythms of grace, you have to know, Guti, there are areas in your life to succeed. You cannot do them in your own strength. You cannot make yourself successful to a certain level. So you need the Lord to be helping you to make things happen. Okay, let me show you something. I'm going to use me as an example. Like here I am, I'm a pastor. You come here every Sunday. You know, I don't have a guarantee that you will be here. You are a free will agent. You can decide not to come. You can decide to say, there's YouTube, so we'll watch it on YouTube, we won't come. But somehow you are here. So, Psalm 23, he makes me lie down. So God is able to make certain things happen. He made the fish to come to the boat of Peter, having failed the whole night, toiled the whole night, not caught a single fish. Jesus said, lower your net. Divine instruction is one. At the same spot where he was fishing, he did not catch. Then Jesus said, lower your net. Then he caught so much fish, his nets began to break. So a divine instruction. Every one of you seated here listening to me, even those online, you are intelligent beings. You are intelligent, sophisticated, wise. This is the part that works against us when we have to obey an instruction. Because sometimes it goes against our wisdom. Proverbs 3 at verse 5. Lean not in your own understanding. Trust in him. Why they say trust? Because it will look ridiculous what God tells you to do. As you are packaging your life, as you are putting your life together, don't forget to leave room for God's coincidences, for God's happenings, for God's doings, for God's orchestrating, for God. The servant of Abraham went to look for Isaac a bride. When he went, he did not know where to start. Where do you start a katlehong? Back to me katlehong bathambofuna unkosikazi katlehong. Uqalapi. Uqalapi. Oh, uthona singapha sigcwele. Uqalapi. Mawuthi uyasemduli bakhona. Mawuthi Chris what? Bakhona. Mawuthi uya esontong bakhona. Uthi uya. Where do you start? The servant prayed. What I ngangam. He said, Loyo ozophumzisa makamela and make me drink is the one. What? Before he finished the prayer, Rebecca was there. Why was Rebecca there before the guy finished the prayer? Because God knows this guy trusts the Lord. He's gonna make that prayer. So he already ordered Rebecca to move, knowing the guy will pray. Oh, suki.